PI Show. My name's Harry Nowicki. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I'm here with my colleague Tony Carbone, who's another personal injury lawyer.
Viewers.
And backed by popular demand is John Carancis.
Good evening, viewers.
Keep referring to
Good
John
evening,
as
John.
the,
How are you?
Tony.
The $1 Million Man.
The $1 Million Man. 2 jury verdicts in 2010, $1 million for both plaintiffs.
Hard work.
So I think someone said that, John, you should be getting the trifecta this year or the quadrella this year.
There's
Hopefully.
a few more opportunities here.
Yeah.
And off the racetrack, though.
Yeah, no, at in court. But Tony, the first segment, I think you've highlighting a newspaper article of what's in the news.
Well, there's a lot in the news, Harry, but of interest this week, we've got a lady that is suing for wrongful birth.
In the state of Victoria?
Yes. In other words, what's happened is this. She had 4 children prior to this child, and she had her tubes tied because she didn't want any more children. In fact, her 3rd child's got cerebral palsy and a bone disorder, so they've got a lot of expenses it is, and not coping too well trying to raise their children.
Family of 3,
it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they've been compensated or if they've applied for compensation for the child that's got cerebral palsy, because it's pretty tough to prosecute those claims.
They are difficult claims, aren't they? Depends on the facts and depends on
what caused
the birth defect and lack of oxygen and things. So,
but in this case here, what's of interest is the fact that they've got 4 children, one's not healthy, and they say they can't afford to have any more children. But obviously for religious reasons and whatever else, they didn't want to abort the pregnancy when she did get 4 pregnant. And so she's suing the...
Tell me, Tony, she's suing the doctor who tied the tubes.
Who tied the tubes.
Surgeon.
And the hospital?
And the hospital, I think.
Yeah. It depends on whether
might
it
be
was private
vicariously
or...
liable, John.
Yes.
Maybe.
And so they're suing for the cost of raising a child.
Tony, first question is the child healthy?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
That throws up a big moral issue about whether you can sue for the birth of a healthy child.
I know there's been a lot of debate about whether you should be compensated in these circumstances, because there's an issue about why didn't you abort the pregnancy, but...
Oh, no, well, the other thing is, why do you say a child is a... why should damages flow from the birth of a child?
Well, I mean,
birth of a healthy child.
Well, they specifically went to the doctor and said, look,
I
we
know,
can't afford to have any more children.
So the loss is the cost of
raising a child. Mind you, don't get it the wrong way.
Years.
Viewers, the husband and wife say they love this child, and that's part of the reason why they wouldn't have aborted, but they can't afford it. It's as simple as that. They just do not have the money to raise this family. And
High Court's given previous opinion on this, haven't they?
Yeah, they've actually compensated another person in similar
circumstances.
circumstances.
There's a New South Wales case quite a few years ago. It's a very unusual cases. They don't occur, obviously.
No, they don't occur often, but I had an inquiry myself the other day.
About something like this. Yeah, look, and you've got to prove some negligence by the tying of the tubes. The doctor might have done the best he could, and you can't assume 100% success.
Well, the article says that it wasn't properly attached, so there must be some expert opinion about why the tube become detached, for want of a better word.
Yeah. So you got to prove negligence.
Yeah, you do.
And then you've got to demonstrate
your loss. And your loss is going to be cost of raising a child.
Yeah. So I think the court initially, I think the High Court was there's arguments about whether there is a cause of action, whether there's damage and loss.
Yes, and foreseeability.
And foreseeability.
It's an interesting topic, and it's going to be raging.
So she's issued proceedings.
She has in the Supreme Court.
In the Supreme Court of Victoria. Well, you'll be familiar with the Supreme Court, John. That's John's second home away from home.
Just curious, what would it cost to raise a child, Harry?
I think the judgment from memory is about $400,000. I mean, it's not extravagant, and there's no. I don't think there's private school.
But that's $400,000 if you invest the money today, because over the course of 18 years, really, it's not $400,000. It's probably going to cost you $1.something million.
Well, there's discounts.
The money's got to be invested.
Yeah.
You've got to be using the interest.
Public school system. It's not a private.
No,
school
it's just
system.
modest. It's a modest and fair sort of damage. But I think from memory, the last decision I saw was about $400,000.
And do they factor in the cost of extraneous things like
contingencies?
Contingencies.
Holidays?
Well, a little bit, but modest. Caravan park rather than flying around the world, John.
Caravan?
Caravan park down at Rosebud, or
Electricity's expensive. You still got to plug it into the power.
The caravan.
Seen a soaring cost of
No Greek
electricity and
islands.
water and everything
Right?
else.
No, touring around the Greek
Might
island.
be cheaper to fly, I think.
But no, look, it's. I just wonder whether it'll settle out of court then.
Well, there is a decision out there in favour in similar
Yeah.
circumstances, so you
Yeah.
think there's a precedent there.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless they want to take it up to the High Court again and see what their attitude, if it changes.
That's
It does change with changing members.
composition of the
Yeah.
court. Yeah. So, look, and look, there's a lot of articles about personal injuries in the press, but
Yeah, I thought it was
tonight-
interesting. That's why I raised
Yeah.
this one.
Tonight we're going to discuss two cases. One that actually did go to the High Court.
Yeah, yeah.
And the background is a bit bizarre. Alan Finch worked for Telstra. He had a sex change operation, became Helen Finch. Then Helen Finch was unhappy, and Helen Finch then got back to Alan Finch.
You could almost
So
write a song, Harry. Helen, Finch.
Alan
That's actually
became
right.
Helen, became Alan, as you do.
Yeah, no. It's
So that's the background, and then Alan Finch at the end was bullied and unhappy, and I think it was a psychiatric injury, as I understand
Yes.
it. And he worked for Telstra for quite a few years, and then at the end, I think resigned from Telstra
yes.
because of the psychological state he was in. Then he tried to do other work. He worked for Foxtel and Qantas for a few weeks here and there. A
Didn't
little bit
last.
of work, didn't last.
Didn't last.
And then applied to Telstra for
Total
total and permanent
disability.
disability benefits under his superannuation scheme. So the case turned upon partly
It was a technical issue
arguments about what the trustee, the superannuation is governed by a trust deed, and you've got to interpret the trust deed. Lawyers love trust deed. How many pages would they be, Tony?
100?
They're thick.
100 pages?
100?
They're very thick.
Yeah.
And you've got to read it, and dare I say, it puts you to sleep
It's
sometimes.
a contractual document.
Document, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But
It's
a
a policy.
long,
It's a policy,
policy, and then you've got to interpret it and see whether the Alan Finch scenario fits into the definition.
He went off because of psychiatric injuries. He would have had issues there, John. You'd imagine.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he was tormented and bullied at work,
Yes.
both as Helen and as
And
Alan.
Exactly.
So I think he was tormented in both circumstances.
We've got to go to a sponsors break, guys. So viewers, don't go away. We're going to be back very shortly. So please stay tuned. Thank you.